Good evening, everyone. This is Sushmita Mandal, an undergrad student of NIT Agartala. A warm welcome to each one of you. To some, it's already a known one, but many will get to know why we are here. Before we get into today's session, I have a few questions to put forward. How many of you are failing to have an alumni interaction in your college? Missing out senior junior interactions or live to live interactions for career guidance? Not knowing where and how to start or whom to seek guidance from? Frozen at the initial stage of your preparation? Well, do you want to hear it out from the best? Students are stuck with such problems. So the team, with the intense thoughts and discussion, came up with unique solution. As a result of that, Podium Talks Season 2 is right here with a fresh outlook and to fill out your minds with all the necessary guidance. We are proudly presenting you the most young and talented speaker today, starting off his journey in one of the most prestigious international universities, Indian Institute of Technology, Madras, in the graduation degree of civil engineering. He then headed the project at NSS and he shifted his journey towards post graduation. Currently, he is pursuing his PG in IIM Ahmedabad. On attempting the most competitive CAT examination and scored high percentile of 99.93%. Apart from the educational path, he even built his personality with many skills like public speaking, leadership, and project management. Now I take a gratitude to invite the speaker, Mr. Sai Krishna Kota, onto the screen. Good evening,
Good
sir.
evening. Good evening, Sushmita. Hope I am clear and loud.
Yes, sir. Firstly, I take a chance of congratulating you for your big success on behalf of our team. It's such a pleasure to have you here for such an informative talk. Many enthusiastic minds are curious about your talk and your guidance to reach heights. So, sir, before we get into the session, can you please introduce yourself to our audience?
Sure. I think you covered most of the introduction, but let me introduce myself once again. Before introducing myself, I just wanted to share the irony of my life. A couple of hours back, I was just regretting my decision to join IIM Ahmedabad, and after 2 hours, I'm just giving a talk about CAT journey and all this process. Okay. So introducing myself, I'm Sai Krishna Kota. I belong to Visakhapatnam, Andhra Pradesh. I had done my graduation in civil engineering from IIT Madras and graduated in 2021. And I gave my CAT in 2020 and scored a 99.93 percentile and got admissions from IIM Ahmedabad, Calcutta, and Lucknow. Since IIM Ahmedabad is one of the top B schools in the country, I decided to pursue my MBA in IIM Ahmedabad. Apart from the academics, I was actively involved in the many PRs in my undergrad. I worked as a placement coordinator. I worked as the finance head of Shastra, the annual tech festival of IIT Madras, and many PRs. And I also follow politics, current affairs, and sports very regularly. This is a brief intro about me.
Thank you, sir. That was really inspiring. It's a pleasure having you with us today, and I'm sure that the audience will gain a lot of insights from you. Sir, could you let us know your entire BTech journey, like from a fresher till the passed out?
Sure. So, as you know, the students who opt for to go to IITs or NITs in the engineering. As you know, the journey is almost 2 years. They prepare for JEE mains and JEE advanced. I was one of the lakhs of aspirants who prepared for JEE mains and advanced. My rank was almost 3,500. So I had to choose between old IITs and or new IITs. If I go to old IITs, I'll get I don't get a good branch, but I get the networking and good culture. But if I go to the new IITs, I get the computer science or electrical engineering. So that was the first dilemma which I faced right after my plus two. So I had decided to back on the old IITs since they are established. They have a good culture, good alum base, and good networking. And I decided to join civil engineering in IIT Madras. The other reason for choosing IIT Madras is it is closer to my home, similar culture, so I don't need to put in much efforts to adjust. So I joined BTech in civil engineering in 2017. So I had no real interest in civil engineering in the initial days. I don't think so. Even I have now, even after completing my graduation. So the initial first year of BTech was more or less having the common subjects with all the students. We had maths, physics, chemistry, and engineering, drawing, coding, all these things. So none of those subjects really interested me. So I did not score much in the first year. But once I started to get a feel of the core civil engineering from my second year, some of the subjects were interesting. I had to put in efforts, and as you know, like even in the BTech, you have to compete with the others. You need to be best to get further career aspects. So I had worked hard in the second, third year and improved my CG. Apart from this, I also was a part of many clubs and teams so that I can build on my communication skills or networking skills. Because after the end of graduation, once you look back, it's not only the CG which you should remember. You should also take out many memories, many friends, or uh, the events which you're part of. And I'm proud that I had many such memories to look upon after my graduation. So, as you know, like in the third year, BTech students have to do an internship, and in the final year, they have to sit for placements. So, my internship, I was not very clear to do internship in which particular company, and I did not get internship in the initial months. But later on, there was a company and which was into the political consulting. So I had applied for it and got selected luckily. But as you know, COVID has hit us in 2020 March, and my internship was completely online. And in the 4-1, so first semester of my fourth year, most of my friends were sitting for placements. I had a thought of doing UPSC initially, but as you know, I was stuck at home and I don't have any access to the coaching centers. And I personally became a bit lethargic when I was at home during the COVID. So I thought, let's not take a decision in the heat of the moment. So I just looked what all the exit options after engineering. So there was GATE, there was CAT, there was higher studies. Since I was not so highly interested into the core engineering, I have decided to go for CAT. And as CAT is more or less maths and reasoning and English, I thought if we could put in some efforts, maybe we can come out with a good score. I just attempted this CAT to say that I did not waste my time in the fourth year because all my friends are sitting for placements and my parents started to ask, so what are you doing? What will you do in the future? So I just wanted to end the conversation for some time and I just gave the CAT. And luckily things worked out and I got 99.93 percentile.
That was really motivating, sir. Could you please describe briefly your journey to IIM?
Sure. So, as you know, I had scored 99.93 percentile. I did not know that this was a great score and I'll get calls from all these things. So, I had enrolled in a coaching institute, IMS. So, after the results, my mentor called me. So, we were speaking. So, he asked me, did you start the interview preparation? You got a good score. You have the possibility of getting into top IMs. So, I was like, sir, I still did not decide anything. I'm not sure about doing an MBA. So I did not start preparation right away. I was just thinking in those days, and interviews started to. I mean, interviews schedule started to come out. My first interview was with IIM Kozhikode. It was in the February first week. During that time, most of my friends were placed. Most of them were enjoying, chilling out, and they're also doing party planning. So that is the reason which I could not concentrate much because they're also inviting me to let's go to Goa, let's go to this tourist place since we were all on online classes. So I had this Kozhikode interview scheduled in February first week. So I did not prepare anything. I just follow current affairs regularly. So I thought let us give a shot. Let us see what these interviews are. How will this happen? So I entered IIM Kozhikode interview. The interview was very short, almost 9 minutes or 9 to 10 minutes. The panelists did not allow me to speak even one answer completely. They are cutting me abruptly. They are shouting on me. And the panelists passed a statement at the end. They said, "How did IITM choose you, and how will you think that you'll be graduating from IIT Madras? I don't think you are a viable fit for IIT Madras." I was shocked. They did not even let me to answer any question. They are shouting at me, and they are passing this statement at the end. I was like totally devastated after listening this. My ego was completely hurt, so I just left the call. I spoke with my IMS mentor after the interview. He was like, generally these things happen. Panelists try to stress the people, and since you have a good academic record and a good decent score in the cat exam, maybe they thought to play with you. But I was like, at least they should give me the chance to listen or chance to answer whatever I wanted to say. So I was deeply hurt. So I thought I should at least prepare for the remaining interviews. Then I started preparing seriously. I started to work on current affairs, work on YMBA, work on my HR questions, revise my BTech courses again. So then I gave my Lucknow interview, CAP interview, Calcutta, and IIM Ahmedabad at the last. So my IIM Ahmedabad was almost at the end, March 30th. It's almost in the last phase of the interviews. So luckily, things worked well, and I could answer most of the questions in the interview. And I got admissions from both Ahmedabad and Kolkata.
Thank you, sir. That was really inspiring. I hope many students all across India will get inspired from your journey. So, sir, was civil engineering your choice or was it by chance?
Okay, so as I was mentioning earlier, I had to choose between old IITs, not so great branch versus new IITs, great or interesting branches. I had decided to go with old IITs. So in IIT Madras, I'll be getting chemical engineering or civil engineering or metallurgical, all these things. I won't get computer science or electrical or mechanical even. So the options left with me was to choose between civil and chemical. So IIT Madras is known or best for the civil engineering, and I thought the opportunities after we graduate in chemical engineering are quite less compared to civil engineering because there are many famous civil engineering companies, and even you can easily set a construction consultancy or construction company if you graduate in civil engineering. So just keeping those things in mind, I chose civil engineering.
That was really informative, sir. So, did you consider job opportunities after your UG degree, considering civil engineering as your branch?
Uh, so two things here. Generally, students opt for core placements or non-core placements. So if I had to choose for core placements, I had to go with the low package, which is very less in the starting, and my non-core friends will be earning quite a handful. But if I choose to opt for non-core placements, I had to learn coding and all these things so that I get a decent job in the campus placements. So I decided strictly that I won't learn coding, especially for the placements. So since I ruled out coding from my option, I had no interest or I had no option to sit in the campus placement because out of 100 companies, 95 companies expect you to come with the coding skills. And since UPSC was also in my backdrop, I thought not to sit for the placements.
Okay, sir. So, sir, according to you, why should student opt MBA after BTech?
See, after plus two, we do engineering after plus two, and I think most of the students who choose any branch after their plus two don't have much knowledge about the branch. They either rely on the parents' suggestions or the peers, or just learn or find pieces of information on the internet, or just ask a couple of people and look at the packages and just join the branches. Out of 10, I would say at least 4 to 5 people will think, did I make a correct decision after by choosing this branch in BTech? So MBA gives you one more option or one more shot at your career to choose a completely different stream of work, or the people who feel that they need something challenging or they need something to make decision making or solve real life problems. So MBA is one more opportunity for those students.
Okay, sir, that was really informative. So, why did you decide to go for IIM rather than doing your core job? Why not for masters instead of IIM?
As I was mentioning, I was not really interested in all the core subjects. So, for example, if you take in civil engineering, we'll have many subdivisions such as structural engineering or construction or project management or environmental engineering. And to do in higher studies, you need a good CGPA, good LORs from the professor, and in my third year or so, I did not have a high CGPA. Till my second year, my CGPA was very low, and there are many good people who plan to do higher studies in my batch. So I know that I won't be a viable option or viable choice for any foreign universities when most of my toppers in the batch are applying. So, and my interest is not also inclined in that domain. So I did not go for masters.
Okay, sir. So, was giving CAT and getting into IIT was in your mind from the beginning, or was it planned when you were in college?
No, as I was mentioning earlier, I just gave CAT to ensure that I'm not wasting my time in the final year, because most of the friends are sitting for placements or preparing for UPSC or appearing for GATE, and I was the one who was stuck without any future plans. So I just wanted to end this home discussions with the parents that you're not doing anything, why are you sitting very idle? So I just thought, okay, let's prepare for CAT and we'll get a time of one semester, because CAT is in November, you can prepare all the time. And I just started to prepare CAT like that. I found it I found it very interesting. I found the subjects interesting. Like, you will get logical reasoning, quantitative ability, verbal, etc. So once you start preparing, the logical puzzles or the quant questions appeared challenging. I used to get low marks in the initial stage. I just thought, why can't I improve? Let's work on it. So the journey started in this way, and I kept on gradually taking marks, working on the feedback, analyzing the mistakes once again, and I just gave the CAT in that way, and I scored, or I ended up with a good percentile. I thought, why to waste this high percentile? Let's take a shot at the interviews also. And once this IIM cozy code thing happened, I was more determined to make it into the IIMs.
Thank you, sir. That was really inspiring. So, sir, since when did you precisely start preparing, and is there any ideal time for which from which students should prepare for CAT?
So I would say, like, there is no ideal time, because some people might need 1 month, some people might need 6 months, and some people may take 1 year, and some people will take even 3 4 attempts to get a good percentage. So I would say, try to analyze your strengths and weakness initially, based on at what stage you are, whether you need to start from the very basic, or you are at the stage where you don't need to read any concepts again, you can directly start attempting the mocks or solving the questions. So once if you identify the stage at which you are, maybe then you can get an idea of how much time is required. So I personally started preparing for CAT right after my internship in third year. So it was almost in the month of July or August 2020. So I prepared for almost August, September, October, November, 4 months. Since I was good at maths in my plus two, I did not need to revise all the concepts once again. I just started to give mocks and understand the mistakes. And if I am missing on any topics, particularly, for example, if I'm getting low scores on geometry for a consecutive 2 to 3 tests, I started to go back and read the concepts once again.
Thank you, sir. We will surely keep that in mind. So, sir, please can you explain the structure of the CAT exam?
Sure. So as you know, the CAD has three sections. The first section is verbal ability and reading comprehension. The second section is data interpretation and logical reasoning, and the third section is quantitative ability. So the number of questions has been changing from past 2 to 3 years. So in the CAD 2020, which I wrote, there were 26 questions in each section, with a time of 40 minutes for each section. So the first section, VARC, has questions from reading comprehension, paraphrasing, para arrangements, identify the wrong word, choose the correct meaning or opposites, summarizing the paragraph. So these are the questions. And for in the second section, DILR, there used to be questions on data interpretation or logical reasoning. For example, we need to make circular or linear arrangements. We need to find the answers from the tournaments, etc. And in the quantitative ability, it's more or less about the maths plus two. Uh, you will have questions from arithmetic, probability, PNC, geometry, etc. So the major important aspect in this CAT exam is you need to give the exam under time constraint. So you need to maximize your accuracy in the limited time.
We will keep that in mind, sir. So, sir, did you take coaching for CAT, or what would be your suggestion regarding coaching to your juniors, whether they should take coaching or they should self prepare themselves?
So, as I told, I felt that I did not need the help of going back and reading the concepts again. I did not take any coaching for explicitly to listen the classes. There are many people who feel that they need to get a better understanding of the concepts once again, so they opt for live classes or virtual classrooms. I only took test series from IMS, so where I get a set of 20 to 30 mock tests, and the mock tests are scheduled in such a way that you can give one test and wait for the results, analyze them, look at your mistakes, and give the next test. So I only chose IMS test series. But if you are someone who is having much time, who feels that you need help from someone who is expertise in this area, you can feel free to choose.
That was really informative, sir. So, how did you manage your time, like focusing both on your degree and preparation at the same time?
Okay, so I was in my final year of BTech while I was preparing for CAT. So as you mentioned, I had to manage between the academic deadlines and the CAT preparation. So initial months used to be hard, like July and August. I used to put in more time. But once I started to take mocks, I used to give mocks in the weekend, and I used to analyze them in the weekdays. So in the weekdays, I used to have classes throughout the day. So if I get free time, I used to check out my mistakes and read any topics that I feel I am lagging on. In the week and the weekends, I used to have holiday on Saturday and Sunday. I used to give marks on Saturday and Sunday and put a detailed analysis on those weekends.
Okay, sir. What suggestions would you like to give to CAT aspirants for the interview round?
Okay, so as you know, CAT exam is only just to gauge your numerical abilities or interpretation. That does not guarantee or offers you any final admission. You need to crack the interviews to get the final admission from B schools. So, like couple of suggestions from my side for the interviews are: first one, you should know about yourself completely in and out, whether it is your academic background or the achievements you had in your life, or why do you want to do an MBA, everything. And the second suggestion is be confident. Because ultimately the interview boils down to how confidently you sell yourself or you answer the questions in an interview. And the third thing is you don't need to answer every question in the interview to get an admission, because even the panelists know that the student might not have answers for every question, and they also don't expect that student should come knowing everything. So these are the three things I would suggest.
Okay, sir, we'll surely keep that in mind. So, sir, how is it going in IIM Ahmedabad? Studies and everything around?
So as you know, like IIM Ahmedabad is one of the top pay schools, and it is known for its academic rigor. It will be very hectic in the initial months. You have to follow the case studies, because IIM Ahmedabad follows case-based curriculum. So you need to prepare for the next day's class previous day. It will take almost 3 to 4 hours if you prepare for all the classes, and you have to make your CVs for the summer's placements. You need to start preparing for the interviews, and you need to submit the assignments, projects, and all these things. So you need to be very quick and accurate with the time management. So initial months will be quite hectic, but once the summer interviews are done, you'll get some time or some free time to adjust your schedules. And apart from this, you need to be in the clubs again. You need to participate in the sports competitions, all these things. So life at IIMA does not stop anytime; it goes on.
Okay, sir. Sir, why did you choose IIM Ahmedabad over other IIMs?
So as I told, I got admissions from both Ahmedabad and Calcutta. According to my profile, if I had been to Calcutta, I would have got much better opportunities or much better placements, because I might not be the best at Ahmedabad, but I would be one of the best at the Calcutta due to my profile. But after speaking with couple of seniors from Ahmedabad and from Calcutta, I realized that even though you're not best, but if you're competing with the best and if you're learning from the best, you will at least improve a lot in terms of your perspectives or in terms of your thinking, etc. And when you get an opportunity to share with the to share your classroom with much diverse people, so if you see in Ahmedabad, the diversity is very high compared to the Kolkata. So in Calcutta, you get to live along with engineers once again. So more or less, many engineers goes to Calcutta. So these are the couple of reasons which I chose Ahmedabad.
Okay, sir. So you have been into the most prestigious institutions, the IIT and the IIM. So what are the major differences you observed comparing to your fellow colleges or the advantages over them?
Okay, so the first thing I would say is these are well established and reputed organizations or institutions. They have been functioning for many years, so a proper structure or a system is in place, which you don't need to frequently change. The students go in every year and they just need to follow the system. And the second thing is very wide and broad alumni network. You can always find people of any category. For example, if I wanted to prepare for UPSC, I know multiple people who cracked UPSC after IIT Madras. Or for example, if I wanted to talk to someone who is working in consultancy, I have multiple people in my hands. So that is the other thing which these institutions offer. And the third thing is you get a best peers in these institutions. So in IIT Madras or in IIM Ahmedabad, you get an opportunity to share your classroom with one of the top minds in the country. You'll understand how they think. You'll understand their perspectives. So these are the differences.
Okay, sir. So we have found out that you have an interest on current affairs and politics a bit tracker. Can you please elaborate your interest a bit more?
Sure. So even right from my childhood, in my house, we used to talk about politics a lot. I mean, these are our dinner table conversations. It started as our dinner table conversations. So we used to informally discuss our parents and me, like how is the government doing, how is this policy, what is this, and my father always emphasized the importance of reading a newspaper to me in the childhood. So I used to read a newspaper every day regularly in the childhood. So this gave me an interest in the news that are happening, and I used to do a lot of quizzing in my childhood. So to win or to be good performer in the quizzing, you need to stay updated with the current affairs. So that is one of the reason why I started to be updated with the current affairs. But in the plus two, you need to leave everything and start preparing for JEE. You go to hostels, you don't have opportunity to do anything. And once again, after plus two, I started reading all these current affairs and started to do quizzing in B.Tech. But again, once again, IIMA is not letting me to go back and do everything. So I need to find time again to do all those.
So, sir, how do you keep yourself updated with the current affairs daily?
So, as you know, like current affairs is something where you need to study regularly or you need to follow regularly. If you're missing it for a week, it will be difficult to catch up. So as of now, I stopped reading newspaper because I am not having time. I'm unable to find time in this busy schedule. So I just read summaries of the news, or I follow certain newsletters. For example, I follow FinShots. They send summary of something important that happens every day related to fin or business. They give a 5 to 10 minutes of summary, so I'll just read through. There are a couple of newsletters which I follow regularly. So that's it.
Okay, sir. Sir, is there a need of MBA degree to run a startup?
That's a good question. I would say there are people who successfully are running the startup without an MBA degree, and there are people who are running startups even after doing their MBA. So MBA does not. You don't need an MBA to run a startup because startup and MBA are completely unrelated. But MBA gives you some knowledge or the expertise, because in MBA you get an opportunity to read the real life mistakes done by many companies or many startups, and you know what steps will lead to where. So you can be cautious while making any new step. And the other thing which MBA offers is the networking. There are many people, or the many, I mean, your classroom fellow people or your batchmates will be working in many organizations. So you can always reach out to help or reach out to mentor and ask for their help, which makes your job easier.
That was really informative, sir. So, during your college life, how did you respond to your failures and success?
To be honest, I never see the way you define failure in BTech and IIM is very different. See, for example, in your 10th class or plus two, if you're not getting good marks in the board exams, or if you're not getting a good score in the JEE, or if you're not getting good score in anything, you start thinking that it's a failure. But once you come to a certain stage of life, you tend to change the definition of failure. So since my definition of failure changed, I did not feel like I'm failing at any times. I was always like I'm not putting up my best efforts, or I'm not doing something completely to my potential. So even when I scored very low in my first two semesters or first three semesters in my BTech, I know that I was not interested in those subjects, or I was not putting my efforts. So I just had to go back to my drawing board, think on how to improve my CGPA, how to get interest in the core subjects. So I took a couple of months to adjust, and then I started to score a good CGPA in the end of my BTech. So I don't think like there is any big failure which I faced in my BTech or in my MBA.
That was really motivating, sir. So, how does CAT exam shape a student overall? Like, what does it teach a student?
Uh, it is an exam which happens with the journeys of months. So initially you will I would say initially it teaches you discipline, because you need to be very consistent in giving the mock tests or practicing or analyzing your mistakes. And the second thing is it teaches you is learn from your mistakes, because the grave mistake you can do while giving a cat is committing the same mistake twice. So it helps you to learn from your mistakes and ensure that it is not repeated every time. And the third thing is it teaches you to maximize your speed and accuracy working under the time constraints.
We'll surely keep that in mind, sir. So, who inspired you the most? What was the quality that inspired you? What made you keep going when you were down?
Uh, this inspiration or the life idol varies from one person to other person. I did not have any real inspiration. I used to follow cricket regularly, so my inspiration was Virat Kohli. So like I was a very great fan of Virat Kohli, be it in the professional career or his personal life. So I always used to see himself as a person who always pushes beyond his limits in and off the field. His passion for the game, or his energy, enthusiasm on the field is really admirable. Whenever I feel low, or I feel down, I used to just see his cricket matches, or see his aggression on the field, or read about him, because there was an incident where he played a Ranji match. Even his father passed away without attending the rituals. So whenever I used to read these things, I feel like okay, there are many great personalities who are doing many things despite all these constraints. So by comparing to them and by seeing their journeys, the challenges or the obstacles which we face are very less or very low. So I just get myself energized again by doing all these things.
Okay, sir. So, students usually do masters of management when they want to go for further studies after BTech. Between these two, which course will benefit one in getting job opportunities more?
See, if you're doing masters, you have to narrow down your opportunities or career to very specific. For example, if I'm doing masters in civil engineering, I need to do PhD in civil engineering, or I need to join as a professor. I need to work only in the my core department. But if I start doing an MBA, I'll get an option to explore multiple domains. So, for example, an MBA student has an opportunity to enter into consultancy, marketing, operations, or finance, or even product management. So, if you're looking for multiple opportunities or in something the career which is challenging or which the growth is high, you can always opt for MBA.
Okay, sir. So, with the same energy, shall we take up the questions from the live chat?
Sure.
Okay, sir. My co host Sneha would take up the podium now.
Welcome everyone. Good evening, sir.
Good evening, Sneha.
Sir, we can see many questions flooded in this live chat. With your permission, shall we start taking up these questions?
Sure, sure.
Yeah, let us go with the first question. Yeah, they say many experiences advice before we opt MBA. Is that right? Or what are the shortcomings that fresher students face in early days of MBA?
Uh, it's interesting question, Sai Priya. Let me put it down in this way. I'll say what a fresher has pros and cons when he chooses an MBA directly, and what a person with work experience has the pros and cons if it comes to MBA. So let me take the case of fresher. So I joined MBA directly after my graduation, and I'm a fresher. So since I do not have any work experience, my job opportunities will be limited to certain roles. For example, I can only opt for marketing or consulting or finance. I can't get a chance to go for product management or general management because those fields or those domains look for the people who have work experience. And one more thing is, I don't have an opportunity to sit in the lateral placements at IIMs. So IIMs conduct lateral placements for the people with work experience. And the third thing is, as a fresher, I'll have the advantage because I am on a continuous path of studying. So I studied my BTech and directly joined. So I did not take any major break, and I can continue the same flow. And fourth thing is, my perspectives or my opinions which I bring to the classroom will be very fresh and very broad because I was not narrowed down by particular work experience, or I did not work in a specific domain, or I did not have any bias because I came directly as a fresher. But if you come as a work experience, all these things get reversed. So you will be able to go into any particular domain which you can, because you have work experience. The companies will look, the companies such as product management companies or general management companies also offer you the jobs if you have a relevant work experience or relevant CV positions. And the second thing is, if you come as a work experience, you work for 2 to 3 years and then come to studying, it will be difficult all again because IIM Ahmedabad curriculum is very rigorous, and once you start working and earning money, it will be very difficult for you to come back and study.
Yeah.
And the third thing is, you will also come with certain experience or certain information about the real life industries or real life companies. So you can use those experiences or the work which you did in the MBA classroom.
Yeah, I think she cleared with her doubt. Let's spin with the second question. Yeah, question from Ajay Kumar. Sir, what would be your advice for a junior who is having a lot of choices and is confused for the same, or the while he or she is in UG?
Sure, Ajay Kumar. So I would say there would be many options in life every time, even after your plus two, or even after your even after your 10th class, even after your plus two, or even after your graduation, you'll have many options to choose from. So first thing is, I would say don't get carried away by the options you see, or don't get influenced by your peers or fellow friends who are choosing something. I would say take a decision based on your interest, based on the long term career prospect, because you as a person has to work for next 20 to 30 years in the career which you choose now. So if you're not interested in the career which you choose, it will be useless. And there is also a famous saying that if you love the work you do, you don't need to work much harder. So based on your interest, long term career prospects, and which you feel you can do easily or crack easily, you can choose your career option.
Okay, that was fine. Let's go with the second question, third question. Yeah, here we have a question from Rajan. Sir, how to increase marks in mock test for CAT exams? Because I'm getting low marks in mock and start dominating.
Okay, Rajan, I mean, it is quite evident that you tend to get low marks in the initial stage because you won't be covering all the concepts. You because once we start giving marks, we'll give the marks once when we are done with 30% or 40% of the syllabus. But even if you are scoring low marks after completing whole syllabus, then you need to go back to your room and understand what exactly is causing the mistake. For example, take quantitative ability. I mean quantitative ability section. There are 26 questions. If you are able to answer only 12 questions in the given time, either you don't know the concepts or you don't have the speed. If you're not having the speed, you need to practice under time constraints. So you need to even do the practice, ensuring that you are doing it in the exam. If you don't know the concepts, then you need to go and read the concepts. But even if you know the concepts, you are making the mistakes, then you need to check whether they are the calculation mistakes, or you are not reading the question properly, or you're not understanding the question properly. So you need to figure out what exactly is the reason behind doing mistake for every question. So there are, for example, if there are 70 questions, you need to know why you did 30 questions correct, and you also need to know why you did not attempt or why you did wrong the remaining 40 questions. So if you are able to identify the reasons behind everything, and if you are ensuring that you are not repeating the same mistake twice, I don't think you will get low marks again.
Yeah, I think many with the same doubt will be clear now. Next, go with the next question. Yeah. Why can't we join any MNC without doing MBA?
You can always join an MNC without doing an MBA. There is no such specific requirement that you need an MBA to join any MNC. There are many BTech people joining MNCs right after their graduation. But if you want a career in which you can see a fast track growth, or you have the opportunity to explore multiple domains, you need an MBA. Otherwise, you can always get into MNCs after your graduation.
Okay, fine. Next, go with the next question. What do you suggest students who are dreaming for studying at an IIM? Which MBA branch is better for civil student?
So one of the major misconception which people will have about MBA is they need to choose specializations. In IIMs, you don't need to choose specializations because you need to follow the common curriculum which is mandated by the institute in the first year itself. And once you get a flavor of all the courses in the first year, then based on your interests and based on the career which you are targeting, you can choose electives in the second year.
Okay, Kanishka, your doubt is clear, right? Next, go with the next question. Yeah, question from Sarita. Nowadays, many are choosing higher studies after UG. Does this affect students with only UG graduates?
I would say yes, it affects because, for example, whenever a company opens a higher position for recruitment, and two candidates, one candidate with UG and one candidate with UG plus PG is applying, obviously the company will try to hire UG plus PG candidate because he comes with much knowledge, much experience, and wider perspectives. So I would say higher the studies or higher the degrees you have, it will help you. But if you are some person who has good skills or relevant capabilities, I don't think your degree will stop you anywhere.
Okay. Yes, Charita is clear without doubt, right? Next, go with the next question. What are your plannings to do after studying at IIM?
So like I am not a person who plan very long term. So I did not. I mean, I did not plan anything as of now. But as you know, we have to do our internships right after my first year. So my first year gets over in the March ending. I'll start my internship in the April. So I'm interning with Airtel in the next summer. So once my internship is done, based on that, if I am interested in the same field, I'll try to get a job in the same field. But if I'm not interested in the field, I'll try to look for new fields. And we also have to do. I mean, I personally feel that I need to do job for at least next 4 to 5 years because I have a loan to clear. Because MBA is very costly, and maybe after that, I'll further plan my career.
We wish you all the best, sir. Next, go with the next question. Yeah. So, what are your perspective about civil engineering when you are a freshman and in a final year?
So when I was a fresher, I felt like civil engineering is more or less about how to construct buildings, how to put cement, how to mix sand and water, how to apply it to the bricks. It's more or less that. But once I started to explore civil engineering, I felt that construction is only the minor part in civil engineering. There are much more unexplored aspects such as environment engineering or soil testing or managing large scale projects, handling infrastructure projects, or even ensuring that all these dams, reservoirs, there are many things in the civil engineering. So my perspective started to become wider in my final year.
Yes, the things become clear when we dig deeper. Let's go with the next question. Question from Teetharkar. Did you ever face any dilemma about appearing for cat or gate or for both at the same time?
No, I did not have any dilemma because I was clear that I am not a person who is willing to do my, I mean, willing to spend my next 20 to 30 years in the core domain. So I had eliminated gate right away. And to give an attempt in gate, you need to be good at every subdivision of the civil engineering. And I'm not someone who is an all-rounder in the civil engineering. So I had only one option left, that is CAD.
Okay, sir. We have reached the end of our today's session. Thank you, sir, for adding our schedule into your timetable. This means a lot for us. I heartfully thank you for all your answers and patience you continued till the end of this talk. And, sir, last but not least, how did you feel interacting with us?
Yeah, I mean, this was a great opportunity even from my side. I never had an opportunity to talk to students uh, during my BTech or listen to someone who has been successful in my BTech or in my MBA. So I think you're doing a great job. I just wish you good luck in all your future endeavors and all your future journey. You can always reach out to me for any help or even the CAT aspirants for any their preparation or anything. If you want, I'll just drop my email and phone number. Is it okay, right? I mean, the participants will be able to access it.
No, sir. We can have a more private chat.
Okay, okay.
That's really our pleasure, sir. Nice talking to you on this coffee evening. And with a huge info in mind from you, we take a leave.
Thank you.
That's it for the evening, viewers. Wasn't that helpful for everyone in this present here? It is, right. Unfortunately, many of us are failing to have this career guidance and proper interactions. No worries. Pladex is here to bring you many such expertises from various domains and live to clarify all your queries. Hope you all enjoyed this session. If you have missed this session, you can catch up in our YouTube channel. So, see you tomorrow with another informative sessions. Till then, stay tuned. Have a great day. This is Neha signing off.